Stay tuned for Barrie Craig and Bergen and McCarthy. Hello there, this is Victor Ives inviting you to join me now for the golden age of radio theater. Yes, this is the program where we turn back the clock to relive the golden moments of radio's yesteryear and bring you the greatest radio shows of all time. I have a good pair of programs for you this time. William Gargan stars as Barrie Craig, confidential investigator, and the case of the bail jumper. Then it's comedy later this hour with Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy, with special guest stars Victor Moore and Ronald Coleman. But first, from October 31st, 1951, Barrie Craig, confidential investigator.
Barrie Craig speaking. A wise man once said a good detective's brain is in his feet. I guess he meant footwork solves more crimes than brain work. Mister, my aching metatarsals. In my business, you rest your feet every chance you get. Any raised surface. Desks, tables, a friendly lap. Off go your shoes, and up go your feet. On this occasion, I had my feet high off the floor in a tavern, downtown along Bail Bond Row, waiting for a bail bondsman named Soloway. Sam Soloway. We had a date set up. Soloway had poured his troubles out to me on the telephone. A Rogues Gallery pinup boy, Joey Florio, had skipped, leaving Soloway holding the bag for bail bond money. A cash loss big enough to give any bondsman heart failure. $50,000. My feet were asleep when Soloway finally showed. A sad-faced little guy who looked as if he'd like nothing better than a good cry.
Mr. Craig.
Soloway, pull up a chair.
I kept you waiting.
Through heartaches, stardust, and melancholy baby.
Huh?
The chute box over there. It's been crying for half an hour. You look mopey, Sam.
Mopey? Somebody should have strangled me before I became a bail bondsman. Craig, you've got to catch me a rat.
Joey Florio?
Joey Florio. He jumped bail, yes, but he's still here in New York.
What makes you so sure?
One thing, the police have every exit covered. Also, on the grapevine, I was tipped off that Florio stuck around to wind up his business. Close his horse parlors, collect all the cash he can, like a man going away for a long time.
Going where?
Europe, somewhere. He's going to catch a plane for Europe.
Just like that, huh? A fugitive racketeer under indictment breezes into an airport all smiles and climbs aboard a plane.
Oh, he has nerve, Joey Florio. It took nerve to become a high muck-a-muck of the racket.
Exactly what do you want of me, Sam?
Catch Joey Florio. I'll give you 10% of the bond money you saved me.
You're a sucker for hiring me on the side. You've got the whole police department working for you, for free, gratis.
I feel safer with one man working for $5,000.
I covered the airports to keep Soloway's bondsman from attending his own funeral as threatened. I hired a half a dozen stooges for $10 a day in smokes. You know your stations, men. It's a 24-hour watch, so load your pockets with K-rations and carry a change of socks. The guy who comes up with Florio gets a $200 bonus and my love. Chance of a million, but I kept it going for a week with as much action as an icebox salesman at the North Pole. Then I gave up. Soloway, this is Barrie Craig. That tip you got on Florio was a dud. I'm canceling out as of now. I'll send you a bill. Coaxing's no good. Neither is throwing hysterics. Keep my men squatting in the airport any longer, and they'll start charging us rent. Goodbye now.
You're listening to William Gargan as Barrie Craig, confidential investigator of the golden age of radio theater. Now back to the case of the bail jumper.
I was through with Joey Florio's disappearance. That is, I thought I was through with it. I found out different exactly 2 hours after I'd crossed Soloway off my list of clients. The discovery began with me dragging up the ramshackle staircase in the Midtown fire trap I had an office in. I'd about negotiated the walk-up when a scream stopped me dead in my tracks. At the top of the landing, I got a look at the screamer. It was Polly, the old Polish cleaning lady, complete with mop and bucket, staring banjo-eyed at a corpse curled up at her feet. A corpse in a merchant marine getup.
What I do?
It took long minutes for Polly to find her voice.
This man...
This corpse.
He come upstairs and knock at your door, Miss Craig. He knock once, twice. Then the other man...
The killer.
He sneak up behind
And
me.
stabbed him. Which way did the knife go? Not down, not with me on the staircase.
Up! He go off to the roof.
Stick around, I'll be right back. I was right back, empty-handed. The roof led to 88 exits in a 4-block square. A perfect setup for a killer making his escape. I dragged the stiff into my office and then talked to Polly some more, getting nowhere. Now tell me, the knifer, what did he look like?
Bad. A bad face. I see that face and I know that man no good.
Sure. There were character bumps on his face and you read them. But draw me a picture, huh? Height, build, how he was dressed, some identifying marks maybe.
Oh, he's short, man.
Yeah?
And his hat pulled down over his face. I never forget. He stabbed the sailor, then he stabbed him again.
And again, and then again, yeah. 4 separate wounds. I've counted them, but give me more description.
He's short, man, and his hat over his eyes. I never forget.
A description to fit every second guy you pass on the street. I shoot Polly, and before calling the police department and making a clam bake out of it, I checked the dead man's pockets. There was nothing in them. Nothing to identify him. Just 3 crumpled dollar bills, some silver, pocket knife, chewing tobacco, a key ring, and a clipping from a newspaper gossip column. Clipping about me. Confidential investigator Barrie Craig, latest recruit in citywide search for Joey Florio. It is rumored that the missing mobster is worth $5,000 to Craig, if he catches him. I was picking my brains over why an unidentified merchant seaman would come see me and get murdered doing it when the phone rang. Craig speaking.
I got information for you about Joey Florio. That is, if you're interested.
Who am I talking to?
General Grant.
What kind of a guy... Look, I like knowing who I'm talking to.
Then you're not interested in what I have to say.
All right, I'm interested. What about Florio?
He's at the Freedom Hotel on the Barrie. Making out he's a bum.
Whoever said he wasn't.
Well, if you was to get over there right away...
Why right away?
Florio's all set to move on to somewhere else. You really want him, it's gonna be right away.
I see. Tell me now, General, sleeping up in that tomb on Riverside Drive like you've been, how'd you know I was interested in finding Joey Florio?
That's been in the papers. I read it in the column.
And why are you so interested in double-crossing Florio?
For a cut in the 5 Gs you're going to collect?
Oh? How will I know who to pay a cut to if you don't identify yourself?
I'll be around to collect when you catch Florio. Better hop to it on the double. Florio's not going to sit around waiting for you. So long.
I didn't go for the phony tip on where to find Joey Florio right away yet. 10 years as a confidential operative, and you don't jump at bait like a seal in Central Park. You don't swallow everything an anonymous jerk disguising his voice on the telephone tells you. It figured. Somebody wanted me out of my office, and right away. I stuck around to find out why. In a clothes closet with my office lights out. I kept the closet door ajar just enough and waited for developments. I didn't have to wait too long. There was a knock on my door. Somebody was satisfying himself that I was really out. I watched the door open and close, and the flashlight play slowly around the room. A lady caller it was. blonde heartthrob in ballerina slippers and a page boy bob. I watched her bend over the corpse, open his shirt, reach in and unbutton a pouch he wore around his middle, something I'd never thought to look for. I had the pouch out of her hand in one grab. I'll take it, sister.
No.
You went right to it, huh? Like you knew exactly where he kept it.
Give it back.
The way you frisked that corpse. No nerve, no squeamishness. You could hire out to an embalmer.
Give me the pouch.
Suppose we see what's in it together, beautiful. Real chummy like.
Oh.
Well, ship's papers, huh? Stacy Crocker, assigned to the Star of Sharon. The date's freshly stamped like... Uh-oh. Pardon me for taking my eyes off you.
Now, hand those papers back at once or I'll shoot.
Oh, don't, please. I'm fond of this suit. Your papers? Here. They're all yours.
I ought to kill you.
For identifying the stiff before you could get at your gun? Who killed him?
I don't know.
Now try for $4. Who was your stooge on the telephone with me a half hour ago?
I don't know what you're talking about.
For $8 now. Really concentrate on this one. Where's Joey Florio?
I never heard of Joey Florio.
Baby, let's not kid.
But I'm not... Who is Joey Florio? And why should I know anything about him?
Skip it. You going to shoot me before you leave?
If you try to stop me.
Oh, I won't. Honor bright. I'll pick you up some other time when your gun isn't showing.
You'll know who I am and just where to find me.
Yeah, I'll know who you are by your picture.
My picture? What picture?
A joke. I'm only kidding. Goodbye now, beautiful. If you're going. But I wasn't kidding. Blondie'd had her picture taken the minute she'd come waltzing in the door. An electric eye camera tooled into the far wall and trained on the door. Open my door and get photographed. I'd be looking her up, but later. First, I wanted the corpse removed from my premises. A gift from me to the good police lieutenant, Trav Rogers. After that, I wanted to know more about Stacy Crocker and the Star of Sharon. Police headquarters. Lieutenant Trav Rogers, please. Tell him it's his mortician friend calling, Barrie Craig.
The Golden Age of Radio Theater will continue with Barrie Craig, confidential investigator, in just a moment. Now, back to our story.
My interview later aboard the Star of Sharon, anchored off Pier 20, was short and sweet. Captain Jameson was positive that he'd never seen or heard of a Stacy Crocker.
I'm sorry, there's nothing I can tell you, Mr. Craig. Nothing whatsoever. Stacy Crocker never shipped on the Star of Sharon, and to the best of my knowledge, was never assigned to this freighter.
But he had Star of Sharon papers on him, Captain. I saw them with my own eyes only an hour ago.
Well, I can't answer for that, except that there's lots of bogus papers around.
And lots of bogus talk.
What?
Lots of bogus talk.
Why, you...
Try throwing me over the side, and we'll both play pollywog and a drink. Thanks for nothing, Captain. Leaving the Star of Sharon on my way to police headquarters, somebody decided it was time to discourage me a little. High-powered rifle shot from somewhere in an empty row of dilapidated buildings along West Street. It breezed close enough to my skull to give me a head cold. I got moving on the double. I had better luck at police headquarters. Trav Rogers had wormed into the case as snug as he could get.
About that corpse, Craig.
Oh, the corpse that Ivy gave?
The next time you're sentimental, make it a box of candy.
You were saying?
Stacy Crocker was a professional informer. He'd come through with vital information for a fee.
Then Crocker came to me with information to sell.
Might say so. Got any idea who murdered him?
No, not yet.
You mean you're not telling?
I mean, I don't know. What about the girl, Trav? Does her picture match anything in police files?
I suppose I'm a fool to tell you. Yes, it matches a picture filed with us when she applied for a nightclub hat checker's license.
A nightclub hat checker's license?
Why the skeptical look?
She wore ballerina slippers. You know, capriccios. No heels, low to the floor.
So?
So I'm a little disillusioned.
And a little crazy. I have a license application here. Her name is Myrna Wilson. The address she gave us is the Hotel Mohansick. What's your position in this case, Craig?
The usual 100% cooperation with the department. I'm your boy, and I don't cost you a cent.
Jolly civic of you. Who brought you into the case?
Joey Florio's bail bondsman, Sam Soloway. I was to get 10% of the bond money if I beat the department to Florio.
Does the murder of Stacy Crocker and this Myrna Wilson have to do with Joey Florio?
If I said yes, I'd only be guessing. Well, I'll have to tear myself away now.
Keep in touch, Barrie. Let's not compete.
Sure, I'll keep in touch. Any corpse I meet, you get first introduction. Oh, Trav.
Yes, Craig.
The Star of Sharon. When does she sail?
Midnight tonight.
I suggest you search her from stem to stern, just in case the disappeared Joey Florio does tie in with the murder of Crocker. And just in case Florio picked the Star of Sharon as his way out.
We have searched the Star of Sharon. While you had your feet up on my desk and ordered my office around, I had 20 men go over every inch of the Star of Sharon.
Ah, clever man. I'm going to tell a taxpayer about you. Blondie was next on the agenda. A residential dump, the Hotel Mohansic. A lobby full of nice old ladies clacking their dentures. A sedate room clerk tending strictly to business, the business of taking numbers bets. The dump reeked with refinement. If Blondie was surprised to see me, she didn't show it. As a matter of fact, it looked like she'd expected me and prepared for it. Soft lights and sweet music. There were hors d'oeuvres on a tray. Cordial glasses set around a colored decanter. And the smell of incense everywhere in the room. Is the party for me?
If you want it to be, very great.
You're not surprised I came right to you?
No, I knew you would somehow, sooner or later. You see, I made inquiries about you. Your reputation.
What did my boosters say?
That you're a bloodhound on the scent, that you get things done.
My ears are blushing pink. What are you softening me up for?
I need a friend.
A boyfriend?
A champion.
How about a patsy?
No, I wouldn't be fool enough to underestimate you like that. I'm in desperate trouble.
You're not kidding. Let's get rid of the musical background, huh? That merchant seaman was very, very dead.
I had nothing to do with his murder, I swear.
You tried to prevent my identifying him.
Yes, but only that.
Why only that?
Stacy Crocker was an informer. He'd gone to your office to disclose certain confidential information.
I already know that.
Confidential information involving me.
Involving you in what?
Robbery. I used my job as hat check girl to play lookout for jewels worn by wealthy patrons. Well, here, I'll show you.
Where? Are they real?
Very real. Rings, brooches, tiaras, loot.
How did you manage to steal them after scouting them? You don't look like a society Raffles to me.
I had a partner.
And the lucky sidekick?
Tex Kirby. I'm telling you the truth, Mr. Craig. Barrie.
Barrie, huh? We're really getting cozy now. But let's hear Kirby's version of it.
Hear Kirby's version, but how...
But where is Kirby? Watch how I materialize people, beautiful. Okay, Kirby, you can come out of the kitchen now and join the party.
Well, you're smart, Craig.
I learned to add 2 and 2 a long time ago in night school. I figured Blondie would have a chaperone hidden somewhere in the woodwork when a great lover boy like me came calling.
I asked Kirby to be here in case you insisted on questioning him.
Sure. Okay, I'm insisting. What about these jewels, Kirby?
Like Myrna told you, me and her was working in together, stealing them.
And you didn't kill Stacy Crocker?
No. I only knew he was on his way to tip you off to our racket, so he could cut in on the insurance reward you'd collect.
Well, so much for that. Now tell me about Joey Florio.
I never met the guy.
But you telephoned me Florio was at the Freedom Hotel on the Barrie.
I telephoned you?
Let's not get cute now, Kirby.
Okay, it was me. I wanted to get you out of the way so Myrna here could frisk Crocker.
How'd you know Crocker was in my office at all? And in the defunct state he was in?
I tailed him to your place. I was downstairs waiting when a cleaning lady came running out into the street to tell the whole neighborhood that somebody'd shoved a knife in a merchant sailor upstairs.
Smart boy, Kirby. You got all your answers worked out.
Well, it's the truth.
You cooked up a cute story, you two, but it's as phony as Blondie's eyelashes.
Are you always so cynical, Mr. Craig?
No, I believe everything I hear, but only on the 8th day of the week. Nice try, kids. I hope Joey Florio appreciates what you both tried to do for him.
Florio, but we've told you
Button
repeatedly...
up, Marner. I told you there was no use coming clean with Craig.
Clean as last winter's unwashed socks. Do I walk out of here standing up, or do you two connivers have other plans for me?
Maybe I have got other plans.
Then for safety's sake, maybe I'd better take certain precautions. Bring him to, beautiful. Murder in Kirby's big try and big lie on behalf of Joey Florio was as easy to read as the ABC on a kindergarten blackboard. They'd outsmarted themselves the way phonies always do. I'd been fed a melancholy lie in a room lousy with monograms. Monograms on the sofa pillows, on the tablecloth, even on the silk lounging pajamas Blondie's been wearing. The monogram? JF. JF for Joey Florio. It all boiled down to one simple truth. And I didn't have to be the seventh son of a gypsy to figure it out. Florio planned to leave justice, Soloway the bondsman, and the USA behind him. Not by plane, but on the Star of Sharon. Stacy Crockett come to sell me that when somebody stopped him. Then Kirby and Blondie did what they could to stop me from identifying Crocker. From tying Crocker in with the Star of Sharon. I was in a doorway along the waterfront at 1:45, 15 minutes before sailing time. There was a cop assigned by Trav Rogers on fixed post, watching the Star of Sharon until it sailed. Everything was as quiet as a graveyard for a while. Then the fireworks began with a rush. First came a scream. A woman screaming her head off around some dark corner. The cop on detail went running toward the scream, waving his service gun. I stood pat in the doorway. It was a decoy trick. It had whiskers on it. If it wasn't, even a woman getting herself murdered somewhere couldn't get me away from the Star of Sharon. I played it right. With the cop diverted, a car rolled up to a fast stop right in front of the pier. I watched the guy jump out and the car shoot away. I didn't have to guess who. Bail jumper Joey Florio, catching a freighter at the last minute. He was running for the gangplank when I fired a warning shot. Florio, stop or you're out! Florio stopped cold and I went across to get him. Somebody had other plans for Florio. Somebody with a stuttering typewriter. When I finally got over to Florio, he had more holes in him than a Swiss cheese. The police took over. The last I saw of Lieutenant Rogers, he was hitching a ride on the morgue wagon. I caught a cab to the home of Sam Soloway, bail bondsman. I had enough for a cruise around the moon and back coming to me, if I could sell a corpse to Sam. Hello, Sam.
Craig? This time of night?
I never sleep. Too many guns going off. Still want Joey Florio?
I still want my $50,000.
Is it still 10% for me?
Bargain's a bargain.
In cash, right away.
Right away? But, Craig, it's after midnight.
I know you keep that much cash on you. Guys get themselves in trouble with the law at all hours. I've seen you come running to post cash bond in the middle of the night.
Craig, you're a regular fox. All right, cash. Here. $50, $100 bills. Now, what have you got Joey Florio?
I turned him over to the morgue wagon.
The morgue wagon?
Florio was machine gunned to death less than an hour ago.
Florio was murdered?
Yeah. But he isn't worth crying over, Sam, so dry your tears. But she's worth crying over, Sam.
She?
That girl in the picture on your desk. Who is she?
My daughter, Hannah.
Hannah? Huh. I know her as a hat-check girl calling herself Myrna Wilson. You didn't really expect to get away with it, did you, Sam?
No, I guess not. All I wanted to do was see Joey Florio dead.
And you sure did that. I didn't have to be too bright to know that you had some hidden motive in bailing out a bad risk like Joey Florio.
I wanted him out of jail, in the open, so I could kill him.
So you hired me to lead you to him, before he either got away or the police sealed him off from your vengeance. Then you followed me around while I looked for Florio.
Yes. He turned my daughter's head. He dishonored me. I wanted to kill him myself.
I'm sorry, Sam. Sorry you were fool enough to take the law in your own hands. You want your $5,000 back?
Keep it, Craig. You earned it. You're a good investigator.
The trouble you're in, you'll need it, Sam. So I'm giving it back. That much money, I'd get fat and lazy. Besides, I didn't really earn it. As it turned out, I didn't catch up with Florio. Get your hat, Sam. On our way to police headquarters, we'll hire you a good lawyer. Maybe it won't go too hard on you for exterminating a rat.
From October 31st, 1951, Barrie Craig, confidential investigator in the case of the bail jumper. Now it's time for comedy. Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy from 1943, with special guest stars Victor Moore, Billy Gaxton, and the suave Ronald Coleman.
Edgar Bergen, Ray Noble and his orchestra, Dale Evans, the sportsman, our guests, Broadway's Victor Moore and Billy Gaxton, Hollywood's Ronald Coleman, and Charlie McCarthy.
May I do it, Bergen?
May you do what?
Introduce Ronald Coleman? You know, it should be done with dignity and savoir-faire.
So?
So I'll do it.
All right, go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, it behooves me, as I've never been beholden before.
That's not right.
No, I'll start over. Ladies and gentlemen, a feeling of pride swells up within my happy chest. That's not right, you. Well, anyway, here he is, my pal, Mr. Ronald Coleman.
Thank you. Thank you, Charlie. Tell me, do you know the important requisites for winning a war?
Well, I heard of a general who said the idea is to get there fastest with the mostest.
Well, that's about right. But the three things needed to get us there fastest with the mostest are manpower, munitions, and food.
Food?
Yes, Charlie. Food for millions of men and women who are fighting and working on the battlefront and on the home front. Soon, in every community in the United States, there will be a recruiting drive for volunteers for the United States Crop Corps. When the call comes in your community, do your part.
How true, Mr. Coleman, how true. In other words, folks ought to raise vegetables instead of raising objections.
Quite right, Charlie.
Remember, this year, as you sow, so shall you eat.
That's very good, Charlie, but we need more than slogans. And while you're on the subject, I'd like to see a little more of you out on my ranch during your vacation this summer.
Yeah?
There's plenty of work there to do.
Yes. Well, I was there last weekend.
Yes, you were, but what did you do?
Have you seen your tractor?
Well, what about it?
Well, he'll be ready next Thursday. I didn't know those darn things would climb trees.
And what were you doing with the tractor, Charlie?
Well, you know that acre behind the corn crib?
Yes.
Well, I decided to cultivate it.
Oh, then you really are a farmer.
Oh, sure. That's me. I'm the man with the hoe. Hi-ho, McCarthy, that's me.
Are you taking care of the whole acre yourself?
No, Mortimer's helping me.
Oh, Mortimer.
Yes. We're gentlemen farmers.
Oh, I see. Gentlemen farmers.
Yes. I'm the gentleman, Mortimer's the farmer.
That's just what I thought. Well, at least Mortimer isn't afraid of work.
Yeah. I suppose you hoped some of that would splash on me.
Yes, I hope you're not letting Mortimer do all the work.
No, I'm not. I wish you could have seen him the other day. We were plowing the field.
I see.
And Mortimer was pulling the plow.
That's fine.
Yes. And I was pushing it, though. I did my bit.
I see.
I was pushing and sweating and sweating and pushing.
Yeah. Well, did you get much work done?
Yes, we did. Mm-hmm. But funny thing happened, you know. Every time Mortimer stopped to rest,
Yes.
I plowed him under.
Oh, now.
Oh, it's so embarrassing.
Yes. Well, now, what are you growing, Charlie?
Well, right now, our principal crop is potatoes.
Oh, I see. Potatoes.
Mm-hmm. We plant them now and dig them later.
How are your potatoes coming along?
Well, so far, they've been going direct to the consumer.
I see.
The bugs.
Oh, I see. So, you're troubled with bugs?
Well, not personally.
No, I
But the potatoes are.
The potatoes are.
Yes. I sure wish there was a market for potato bugs.
A market for potato bugs.
Yeah, I'd make a mess of money there.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Yeah.
Charlie, if you're a farmer,
Yeah.
I am a monkey's uncle.
Well, I won't argue that with you.
Oh, Charlie.
Well, Mortimer Snurd, my old sharecropper.
Come on in, Mortimer.
Come on. Yeah, come on.
No. Old Nick Snurdy had a farm. Hello, Mr. Bergen. Hello there, Mortimer. Charlie tells me that you're helping him out on the ranch. Yep. I'm a big butter and eggplant man. Yeah, that's right. I'm showing him how to rotate his crops. I see. Well, that's fine. Yeah, that's right. That's fine, yeah. Mm-hmm. And what are you going to... What are you going to plant first? Well, there's I say, what are you going to plant first? Well, we're going to plant seeds. Seeds? Yeah, I know. But what kind? What kind? Well, tiny little ones, you know. Yeah. I know, but what crops are you going to raise? Oh, what kind of crops? Well, of course, that all depends on, you know. Depends on what? Well, on what kind of seeds to plant. Well, I asked you a very simple question, and all I want is a simple answer. Well, I'm the guy that can give it to you. Yeah. Tell me, what are you going to grow? Well, I think I'm going to grow some dog plants. Dog plants? Yeah, dog plants. Yeah, they're very nice, dog plants. Dog plants? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. What do you mean? Cauliflowers. Oh! I got you on that one. Yeah. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah. Cauliflower, pretty good. All right. You know, Mr. Bergen, that apple tree you got? Yes, I know the apple tree. Well, I made some cider. You did? Mm-hmm. You made cider? Yeah, that's right, yeah. Hard? No, just squeeze the apples and there it is. Yeah, I'm sure. That's fun. You, Mortimer, you are undoubtedly as stupid a person as I've ever talked to. Yeah, that's, you got, yeah. I say you're as stupid a person as I've ever talked to. Oh, you're just saying that to make me feel good.
We'll get back to Bergen and McCarthy on the golden age of radio theater in just a moment. Now back to Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy.
Down through the years in such shows as Of Thee I Sing, Anything Goes, and Louisiana Purchase, Victor Moore and Billy Gaxton have been the brightest lights of the Broadway musical comedy stage. It's a strange Broadway season that doesn't include them. But it happens that both are in Hollywood for cinema purposes. Victor for Riding High at Paramount, and Billy for MGM's Best Foot Forward. But they're together again to show us their conception of what a draft board isn't, but might be. Victor Moore and Billy Gaxton.
Hello? Hello? Local draft board number 1804, swing and sway in class 1A. Chairman Gaxton speaking. What's that, madam? Oh, we're very sorry. It must be an error. No, we can't induct a woman when she's going to have a baby. No, it would be unthinkable. Take a 3-day furlough and report to Fort MacArthur on Monday. Come in.
How do you do?
How do you do? Not in.
Is this the draft board?
Well, we like to refer to it as the GI Travel Bureau. Now, what do you want?
Well, you got to help me. One of my key men is going to be drafted right out of my defense plant.
Oh, you run a defense plant? What is it?
It's the Victor Moore Collapsible Girdle Corporation.
Since when are collapsible girdles an essential industry?
Well, right now we're working on a big government contract. We're making the Victory Girdle.
Ah, the Victory Girdle.
Yes, it takes the waves out of the wax. Now, this fellow who's going to be drafted, Homer Potts.
Yes?
We couldn't do without him. He's been in the girdle business for 25 years.
It's quite a stretch. I'm not interested in Homer Potts. I'm interested in you.
Me?
Yes. I knew you were a suspicious character the minute you walked in here. I'll bet you never even registered. I'm going to look up your record in our file.
But I just came here because
now,
I
you
want to
may be an active spy.
I only want to keep on making girdles.
Yes, there's something you wouldn't stoop to.
Yeah, I make the kind with the garters in them.
Yes, you'll probably blow up the whole city.
Oh, I'm a very tough customer, aren't I?
Wait a minute now. I'll find your draft specification card here. Let me see. Montrose, Moody, Moon.
No, that's not far enough.
All right. Mooney, Morse, Monkey.
That's going too far.
Here it is. Moore, Victor Moore. 1A.
Oh, that can't be me.
Oh, yes, it is. Aren't you Victor?
Looks like I'm loser. There must be some mistake. Are you sure you didn't make a mistake?
Now, this draft board never makes a mistake. And when we do, it's too late to complain.
But aren't grandchildren an exemption?
Children are an exemption. The law doesn't say anything about grandchildren.
No, wait a minute. I thought you didn't want men over 38.
Well, how old are you?
Well...
Now, come on, now, don't lie. Now, come on, now. Hurry up, now. Tell me the truth.
I'm over 38.
Over 38, huh? Where's your birth certificate?
Well, to tell the truth, I had it so long it just turned to dust.
Turn to dust. Destroying the evidence, huh? I can get you 20 years for that.
Well, it's all very confusing. I don't see how the Army can take me now. You know, I tried to enlist last year.
You did, huh? Well, what happened?
I guess I got in the wrong line. I was classified 99F in the Campfire Girls.
Yes. Well, when did you go down to take your physical?
I was too weak to go down and take it.
Hmm?
The physical came up and took me. At that, I was almost taken into the Army on account of bad eyes.
Oh, you had bad eyes and they almost took you?
No, the doctor had bad eyes and almost took me.
All right, Mr. Moore. Now I'm going to be fair and square about the whole thing. I'll give you another examination.
That's very nice of you.
And then we'll send you right down to the induction center. First, I'll give you a blood test.
Oh, I had one of those the last time. The doctor took some blood out of me.
Oh, he did, huh? And then what did he do with it?
How should I know? I didn't remember a thing until he put it back.
All right now. Then we'll just overlook your blood. Now, let me see. We'll test your eyesight. Now, here. You hold this piece of cardboard over your right eye.
All right.
And you hold this piece of cardboard over your left eye.
Yeah.
You got that?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Now, you take the first piece of cardboard away from your eye.
There.
All right. Peekaboo.
in the world. Wait a minute.
No, wait a minute. Now, you turn right around. I want to see how you're going to look in a uniform. Say, you'll have to take off, you'll have to take off some of that weight. You're a little, corpulent.
Is that higher than a lieutenant?
Higher than a lieutenant. Oh, a wise guy, huh?
Well, I'm sorry. I'm just not myself today. I'm very jumpy.
Oh, jumpy, huh? Fine, then we'll put you in the paratroops.
Well, I hope you realize what you're doing.
Why, what do you mean?
By taking me into the Army, you're closing down my girdle business. If you take away girdles, you'll shake the very foundation of American womanhood.
What
To whom did you say? You did say whom? Oh, so that's whom. How utterly humorous. Charlie, what are you doing? Well, with Ronald Coleman here today, I have to watch my diction. Oh, I see. Yes, that's whom.
Yes. Well, that's very fine. I'm glad to hear you pattern your speech after Mr. Coleman.
Well, now you just watch me. I'm going to out-Coleman.
Oh, you are?
You know, pewter. Laughter. Ha, 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 ha.
Why, Charlie, here comes Mr. Coleman. Hello, Ronnie.
Hello, Edgar. It's good to see you boys having fun.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not intruding.
Oh, no, Mr. Coleman, no. You know, we've got secrets,
Uh-huh.
You know how it is.
Of course. You know, Edgar, I admire the fine friendship that exists between you and Charlie. There's such deep loyalty and understanding.
Yes, I feel very fortunate in having Charlie as a friend.
Yes, it's something to be treasured, isn't it? Remember, friendships must be kept in constant repair. They're so fragile.
Yes, all right, all right.
How true. How gloriously true, Mr. Coleman. There's nothing more fragile than friendships.
Yipes! Ronnie, I think I should tell you that Charlie is a great admirer of yours.
Well, thank you, Charlie.
I've seen all your pictures, except that one about farming.
About farming?
Yes, the rundown harvest.
Random harvest.
Yes, that's the one.
You know, Ronnie, those scenes between you and Greer Garson were unforgettable.
Well, that's very nice of you, Edgar.
Is Greer Garson in it, too?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Wow. What I mean is she really?
Do you like Greer Garson, Charlie?
Oh, yeah, I'll say. I think she's
I see what you mean, yes.
Of course, you know Miss Garson better than I do. What do you think of her?
Well, confidentially, Charlie, I think she's...
You too? You know, Mr. Coleman, I would have seen that picture before now, but Bergen wants me to wait until it comes to our neighborhood.
Oh, what neighborhood is that?
The neighborhood of 15 cents.
You know, that neighborhood is kind to a boy's allowance.
Yes, and mine doesn't take much kicking around. Do you know what I get a week?
No,
Well, I get some measly 70 for Charlie, please.
We're not interested in what you get.
No. Well, in case you do, it's 75 cents a week.
Well, Charlie, you know, I sympathize with your budget problem. And I've got an idea.
You have? What?
How would you like to have me tell you the story of Random Harvest?
Oh, boy, that would be super.
And I, for one, would enjoy hearing you tell it.
And it would save me 15 cents.
Oh, no. If you don't go to the theater, I don't give you the 15 cents.
Well, now, wait a minute. If he tells me the story, that's another thing, isn't it? But I'll let you listen to it, too,
Now,
for
listen.
15 cents.
Now, wait.
No,
I'll settle.
If you don't, I don't.
Well,
care.
one moment, please. I'll
fair.
settle the argument, fellas.
Yes.
Now, listen. I tell the story.
That's right.
And you give me the 15 cents.
That's the... No, that isn't the argument. That didn't work out so good, did it? No, you're driving a hard bargain. No. How about 10 cents, huh?
Well, I could do it, but you wouldn't like it.
I wouldn't. All right, then. Make it 15 cents. All right. But give us the full treatment now.
I'll give it everything I've got for 15 cents.
Shoot. Curtains.
Well, you see, the story opens.
It does, huh?
Well, naturally. It's a necessity.
Well, I can see your point, yes.
Will you let Mr. Coleman tell the story?
Oh, excuse me.
All right, now. As the picture opens, I'm suffering from amnesia.
Oh, am you? He means he doesn't remember anything.
That's right. I'm, shall we say, not quite normal.
Oh, I see. In other words, you are, shall we say, nuts.
Yes, that's right, Charlie. Yes, my mind is in escrow.
Yeah.
Well, now, there are three things I can't remember.
Yeah?
I can't remember my name, and I can't remember my address.
What's the third?
I can't remember.
Oh. Well, where does dear Garson come in?
Well, Miss Garson befriends me. We fall in love and marry and go to live in a little cottage with a squeaky gate. Now, doesn't that sound romantic?
Well, I don't know. I never lived with a squeaky gate. Unless you count Bergen.
Now, wait.
I'll hear more about that later.
Yeah. Continue with your story, Ron.
Well, we're gloriously happy in that little vine-covered cottage. Hours go into days, days go into weeks, weeks go into months, months go into years, years of glorious happiness.
All right.
Ah, how well I remember that little vine-covered cottage.
Please,
Happy.
Mr. Coleman, just tell it. Don't ham it up.
Well, I'm sorry. I must have been giving my 35-cent performance.
Well, anyway, what happened?
Well, I go to Liverpool.
Oh.
Only to be hit by a taxi.
Hardly seems worth the trip, does it?
You're quite right. I didn't even get his license.
Oh.
Now, where was I?
Well, you were getting hit by a liver pill in the taxi.
Well, you see, it was quite a serious shock.
Yes,
You come to think, when I regained consciousness, I'm a different man.
Anyone we know?
No.
What Mr. Coleman means is that the accident restores his memory of the past, but he forgets he has a wife. Well, what happens to Miss Garson? Did you just forget about her?
Oh, no. Miss Garson becomes my secretary.
Now, wait a minute now. Here's where I trip you up. First, you say you forget her, don't you?
Uh-huh.
And then all of a sudden, she's your secretary. How does that happen?
Well, now, that's a very good question, Charlie. I'm glad you brought it up. Now, to go on with the story.
Yeah, what? Wait a minute. Well, you see, Charlie, after Miss Garson becomes his secretary, he doesn't remember her, so they get married again. Isn't that bigamy? No. Or is it trigonometry? No.
No, you see, I merely married the same girl twice.
Oh, I see. I guess you call that monotony.
Well, how do you like the story, Charlie?
Well, I think it has a very fine moral. I like that.
Well, and what moral is that?
Well, the moral is don't marry your secretary. She might turn out to be your wife.
That's the Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy show from April 18th, 1943. In just a moment, we're going to be back to talk a little bit about Fu Manchu. A listener in Lincoln, Nebraska writes, I read that John Daly, the host of What's My Line, was Fu Manchu on radio. True or false? Well, I hope you didn't have any money riding on that one. That's false. An actor named John C. Daly played Fu Manchu, but that's not the same John Charles Daly who hosted What's My Line on TV. The John C. Daly, who originated the role of Fu Manchu on radio in 1932, died in 1936. What's My Line was on TV long after that. Well, this is Victor Ives on the Golden Age of Radio Theater, inviting you to join us next time we turn back the clock to relive the golden moments of radio's yesteryear and bring you some more of the greatest radio shows of all time.
For a copy of today's program, call 1-800-326-0296 and refer to show number 29. That number again is 1-800-326-0296. And remember to refer to show number 29.